I got a list. Here's the order of my list that it's in. It goes Reggie, Jay-Z, Tupac, and Biggie. Andre from Outkast, Jenna Corrupt, Nas, and Demi. But I'm in this industry. I'm a cause of a lot of envy. So when I'm not put on the slits, this shit does not offend me. Kind of in there. Yes, ma'am. All right, come on. Oh! That's the intro clip. They're still going. All right, look, we just got back from the bar. Just got done watching the Packer game. So what I'm saying in the video later on, I don't look like a fool now. But we're here to talk about a new vault card weapon that we got. And I'll be honest, boss man, I totally missed the mark on not trying this weapon out on day one. I tried out every other weapon except for this one. Of course, it's the best one of the bunch. Go figure. Sometimes you swing, sometimes you miss, and sometimes you hit everything but your target. That being said, this weapon has some synergies up the wazoo that is allowing this thing to be an absolute maniac. So what sniper we are talking about today is the Rooker. Yes, before you get at me, bro, I know it's an order weapon. I know, generally we don't mess around with order weapons. They're kind of the ops. But as they in the Class Clown once said,
rules are meant to be broken.
And today we are doing just that. Because what if I told you that this weapon might just give the bot a run for its money without nearly as much RNG required? Now, one thing you do absolutely have if you want this weapon to be at its peak powers, say it with me now, the Jacobs licensed accessory, baby. Ooh, yes. Now, obviously, we all know that the Jacobs licensed accessory, the Jala, is very, very good. But for this weapon in particular, it's super good. So its legendary perk Callus has this weapon with an alternate firing mode. And essentially, it shoots these two homing needles. These two homing needles go towards wherever your cursor is at on screen. And yes, you are able to just shoot them and then swap to an entirely different weapon. And those bad boy homing seekers are still going to be doing their thing. Here's the thing, though. There's a lot of things going for it in terms of ways of buffing these needles, because on their own they do really, really good. And because it's an alternate firing mode on a sniper rifle, you can kind of see where we're going. At least in terms of this video, the build that we're using, it is Sniper Vex, who needs a shield when you have the Rooker. And yes, this weapon can also roll a Torg licensed part as well, giving it some nice explosions. However, it's not nearly needed like the Jacobs licensed accessory is, because whenever you tag an enemy with these needles and they crit with the Jacobs licensed accessory, yes, it's going to ricochet, but it's also going to create another projectile, aka one of these monster needles that has the ability to inherit all the other buffs that your initial shot did. Oh, not to mention the cooldown on these needles is very, very fast, allowing for some absurdly high uptime with little to no investment. Wait, investment into what? It's an alternate firing mode. I'm tripping. Point still stands though. You don't need to worry about having to save these shots as if you were to be on some very long cooldown, because you're just simply not. When using this weapon, you will definitely find yourself in scenarios where your two initial needles, they're still roaming around doing their thing, but you already have another charge of them to go, so you can just add to the pile of mayhem. Now, in terms of the main categories inside of Borderlands, you have your mobbing and your bossing. I would say this weapon is S+ for bossing, and probably like A-, B+ for mobbing. It can mob by itself, but realistically, more optimally, you would shoot your needles and then swap over to like a hot slugger or another really good mobbing weapon and just have those missiles essentially just be free turrets while you murk other stuff, and they're just wrecking shop in the background while you have an entirely different weapon out, and you can just cycle it in and out, in and out, in and out. Oh, and let's also throw in the Dead by Daylight firmware 3 out of 3. Whenever you toggle your mode, it's going to give you 35% damage and 35% fire rate for 5 seconds. But you just can refresh it anytime you want just by toggling. And yes, any extra projectiles created from the Jacobs licensed accessory will inherit that buff on the needles as well. Throw in an amp rep kit for good measure, and you can see where the absolute craziness is coming from. Not to mention, it being a vault card weapon makes it a very simple, easy weapon to go farm. You don't have to worry about a boss being stingy with you. Now, that being said, fellas, let's go enjoy a nice little live play test and run through with this new order behemoth. All right, you righteous Ripper renegades, we got a heater for you today. All right, this is why I've been waiting to make our updated best weapons in Borderlands 4 video, because this vault card right here, and the DLC, I was hoping there might be some heater. Well, Yeah, boy, we got one. This bad boy right here, the Rooker, is absolutely disgusting, mainly due to the fact of its legendary perk and the fact that it can roll Jacob's licensed accessory. Very, very great combo. Huge shout out to the homie Gentlesir for being able to get me a weapon with this exact roll on it. My man, shout outs to you, brother man. Link to his channel in the description. What exactly makes the perk so good? The 2 needles on paper, they sound pretty basic, right? 2 needles that continuously home in on enemies. Okay, at least we can control them by aiming. But also, why the Jacob's licensed accessory part is so good is because whenever those bad boys crit, yeah, they're also going to create another one of those homing needles, giving you another extra projectile that is ridiculous, especially on Sniper Vex. As you can see, yes, we have Dead by Deo 3 out of 3 firmware, because the 3 out of 3 bonus is going to grant a 35% damage and 35% fire rate. Absolute juice. Heat, as you guys see, whenever we flip the script, it's going to keep refreshing. All right, obviously, because we're just flipping it back and forth over and over again, but to get some real good setup out of these, boom, you would flip it and then shoot it. And also what you do to throw it in to complement it is you throw in an amp rep kit. 200%, all those needles are going to get that. Not only are those needles hitting pretty hard, but we throw in our one-shot undead eye right here. I know the passives are pretty nice. We add on Timekeeper's new shield. We add on ourselves a scatter shot, but all of these individual ticks from these needles are going to be able to apply bleed. Add in a little bit of some spicy bloodshot as well, bro. This thing is going to fry because these needles are just that darn good. Not to mention, the uptime on them is ridiculous. Like, you can legitimately have them still homing around, murking enemies by the time you have another one coming back up. So it's really, really good uptime on these bad boys. So we throw in the throwing knife and we are ready to go. Now, I would say that this weapon is definitely best suited for bossing capabilities, but it could definitely do some really good mobbing as well, just through the needles, especially if they're able to get a crit and make another projectile. They can absolutely rip apart some mobs. And once again, like I said, the cooldown or the uptime on these is insane. We already have it back just like that, my guy. Just as an example of what I'm talking about with the uptime on these bad boys, yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Really, really good. Not to mention, bro, we're gonna pop our rep kit and our amp kit for the bosses. Just absolutely juice it up. And the fact that we can control where these bad boys are going kind of by just looking at the enemy kind of adds a nice little feel for this weapon. Bye, see you later. And you know what, just go ahead and rip it back out. Boom. Aim it at this guy. Yeah, he's done. See you later, Bucko Rooney. Where are the enemies at? Hello, bye-bye. I look at them, they're done. I look at them, they're done. See ya. Bye. Oh, hello. Yeah, hit this guy for me, boys. Appreciate it. Hey, yo, preach. Let's go ahead and repop our good old action skill here. Let the needles do their thing. The needles can carry just about everything in terms of just raw damage capabilities. That, dude, like, especially against bosses, this thing is so good. Like, I feel like that's where it's, like, really at its strongest is against bosses. Speaking of bosses, I guess I didn't really time that one that well because I would like to ideally have a shot. All right, well, if you want some actual smoke, buddy, you can have it, okay? Boneface was trying to get all silly and funny. He instantly got sat down and gave him the business. Sometimes you gotta do what you got. Bye. It's funny because the uptime on these is so good that I can legitimately just shoot them out, swap to an entirely different weapon if I wanted to, and use that while this thing's on cooldown. And these things are still just going to absolutely rinse. Here you go. Got any grapes? Waddled away. Jeez, bro. Dude. You're gonna tell me he deserved that? This will be interesting to see because we don't even have our action skill up, so let's just see how it does without the action skill, huh? Yep, okay. Yeah, I'll keep, okay, yeah. I guess it really doesn't matter now, does it, huh? I'm trying to fiend for a phosphine in this video, guys, all right? You know what I'm saying? And now you guys already know that we gotta do it with the big on, not the big encore, with the action skill and the amp kit. Whip, and boop. Uh-huh. That was a 1.1 mil. I saw that. Bye. Hey. Bye. Oh, hey. Bye. Hayes. Trying to see what's up Anybody trying to hang out? All right, guys. So we've reached the point in the video where I like to do a little side combo. This week, my glorious and favorite team of all time, the Green Bay Packers, play the Minnesota Vikings at home. Obviously, your boy is a committed diehard cheesehead, so I will be going up to my B-dubs, my local B-dubs, to watch the game. Now, in previous videos where I've mentioned my team, it really doesn't go well after the fact. So I'm kind of trying. I'm here to, dude. The needles are stealing my thunder. They're just fragging out. That's a good thing though. That's a good thing though. Hello. Goodbye. So I'm trying to go against some of the grain here and really put some good juju on for the boys, because I'm telling you guys, for those of y'all that are football fans, you guys know that when your team wins, it really does have a nice effect on your mood for the entire week. I know it does for me. That guy was supposed to be like a badass, and my needles just took him out. Or not even critting, by the way. They were just doing their thing. And as always, I like to mention for the little side parts of the vid, I wish for no injuries for either team, because injuries suck for everybody involved. Obviously, it's terrible for fans, but it's even worse for the human being that has to go through the injury, the rehab process, getting back to, functioning shape. Whatever injury it may be, man. Dude, the needles. These needles, they are insane. Homie. Got deleted. When a weapon has me just kind of like appalled, bro, that's when I know like the weapon's good. It's just like, okay, so it's gonna do that. And this needle's gonna get a little lost for a bit, and he's gonna tackle him. He's gonna get rid of that guy. He's gonna get rid of that guy. Oh, then I can add some more to the turret. Bye. I can just add some. Oh, then he's gone. He's deleted. Then I can add in some more, and then they go out and have some fun. They're going out with their buddies. Yep. They're having a nice trip on the town. A good old night out. Yep. I like this weapon. I really like this weapon. Like, I'm not even trying to glaze this weapon. It's just that freaking, just nasty. It just does this. Dude, the fact that the needles go where, like, I'm looking at is also just... That's so cool. It's insane that they're this effective at both mobbing and bossing. Obviously, I would still stand by the fact that they're better at bossing than mobbing, but they can still mob pretty darn well. And the fact that you can just shoot these and switch to another weapon, I feel like adds a whole nother layer and level. Because, like, for the sake of the video, right, I'm only using the sniper rifle, right? I'm not using any other weapon. I'm just letting the sniper and the needles kind of do the work. Obviously, I could shoot these out, whip out a hot slugger, and keep going about my business. But for the sake of the video, I'm letting the needle and the snipers do the work. And for that matter, I haven't even shot much of the normal sniper so far either. The needles just do they're just so dang good. Whee! That's just because violent enemies suck, and they take off a lot of fun because of these silly crystals. Bye. Yeah, these ones are amped, so they're doing double damage, all of them. Every time they just hit, they do double damage because I amped them, because they're overpowered in a good way. It's a PvE game. Don't nerf it, please. Let me have my fun. Thank you. And now, my good friends, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to try and do a nice little boss melt on our good boy Radix here, the Primordial Guardian, whatever. He likes to talk a lot. But here's the thing, right? We throw a couple of these bad boys, do this, and then I charge this up, and then I shoot it, and then it's going to do the thing. And yeah, when they do the thing, that's when, like, it's really, yep. That wasn't even the most efficient one either. That's the crazy part. That wasn't even the most efficient type of, like, kill we could got on that guy. Not gonna lie, chat, I want to do it again. So I'm just throwing in a second one in here just because we can. Does that make 3? Did we sneak in all 3? I think that makes actually we can all 3 vault bosses, low key. We take that. Prime them up. Switch. Get away that Adeo to proc. And yeah. Pretty damn good, dude. Once again, I do want to stress the Dead by Deo 3 out of 3 firmware for this. That switch, giving you that 35% damage, is going to proc for every needle proc. So you combine that with the amp shot. You see how the bossing is just really ridiculous on this weapon. Because it's not like you're doing all this prep for one single shot, and if it fails, you fail. It's like, no, the needles are just going to continuously roam around, and if you get a crit, it's just going to spawn another one that's going to inherit the bonuses as well. And not to mention, this is on a Vex build, so bloodletter, bloodshot. You see where the grease is coming in. Oh yeah, don't forget to mention our scatter shot here. it's pretty nice as well. So we'll take that all day of the week. This is a vault card weapon. And so far out of all the 4 vault card weapons, this one's definitely the best in my opinion. Of course, that is subject to change, but at the moment, you see where I'm coming from. This thing is awesome. Once again, shout out to Gentlesir. Link to his channel in the description. All right, fellas, let's reach that moment where we got to give a shout out to our members. If you're going to be shouted out at the end of a video, all you got to do is become a tier 1 member. You'll get your name mentioned at the end of videos. Huge shout out to KJ42 being our tier 3 member, my dude. Appreciate you, brother, man. Hope all is well. Shout outs to Pikachu being our longest tenured member, closing in on that 9-month juicer, baby. Much love, much love. Hope you guys are doing well. Thank you guys so much for your support. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this weapon down below in the comments. It's an argument to be the best sniper rifle in the game. That is if you don't include the bot as a sniper rifle. Much love. Y'all be safe. Take care. See you on the next one. Oh, and look forward to the updated best weapons in Borderlands 4, baby.